Good evening, Sharpies. Do not adjust your screen. Tom has not gotten a tan and some Botox. This is somebody else. Actually, Tom is on his way in, but surprise, we have a special guest for you tonight. And welcome to another episode of Steel Sharp and Steel. Thank you to Anthony. You know, Anthony was in here at 1:41 p.m. Just want y'all to know. So if you think you're ever going to beat Anthony to the comment section, you know what? We're just gonna let him have that. But Anthony, Michael, and more Anthony. And Harry, hey, what's going on, Harry Brown? Good to see you all. Welcome everybody to the show. We got a lot to cover because as Michael said, you know, it keeps coming. We have had to update our updates 3 times just today, just to make sure we got everything we wanted to talk about. And so, yeah, if you see something breaking while we're talking, usually Michael's the one on that. So just let us know. But I want to take a moment to introduce my special guest here, Gabriel Smith, aka whatever name he tells you he is. But welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gabriel Smith, aka Lester Holt. We'll go with that for today.
I like it.
A little bit about me. I used to work on Capitol Hill. I used to work for Congressman Richie Torres, who represents the South Bronx in New York City, New York District 15. Currently, I work for the National Association of Housing Redevelopment Officials. So we are the largest trade association dedicated to affordable housing and community development in the country. We have over 26,000 members all around. So really, we are the authority when it comes to affordable housing. So that's given me an opportunity to really interact very closely with members of Congress on the Hill, as well as their staffers. And it's a world that I've been a part of for a while. In a previous life, I worked on the Hillary campaign in Tampa, Florida. Worked in the nonprofit space, worked on a local mayor's race. So, really every level. I've had some experience when it comes to government. So excited to be here with you all to talk about the exciting times we live in. Let's just call it that.
Right. I've heard that it is a curse to say, may you live in interesting times, and I really would like to just go back to my boring, Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of cornflakes. Like, I miss those days.
Just Pink Panther and some
He-Man. Just can we just get some G.I. Joe up in this piece? Even though it was, it may have been propaganda or whatever, but can we just something basic? Right.
Propaganda.
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, I'll even take some Adult Swim at this point.
Oh yes. Oh, so many treasures on Adult Swim. Got me an anime. It opened up a whole world for so many people.
Oh well, la dee da. Look what the cat dragged in.
Oh,
Gabe,
what's up, man?
I am doing all right. So introductions have just been completed, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Right.
This is Lester Holt, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Been in the sun a little bit, but
Right.
So we do have a big show for everybody, and what we did, because there are so many things. I was telling Joy in the chat this week. Every week of a Trump administration is a month of shows. So, hey, Anthony. And Anthony was the first, just in case people thought it was Michael. Anthony was in at 10:41 this morning.
Right.
So, as soon as I put it up, Anthony was in there. We just have a laundry list of a whole lot of stuff. And so to kick things off with our streaming audience today, we have a sequence called The Admin from Hair. So, Anthony. Okay, Anthony.
Yo, if you're serious about that, bro, hit me up. I do like resumes and job coaching and interview skills and all that stuff. So holler at your girl. Why you ain't saying nothing?
Look at what Sharp and Steel gets you. Look at it. Look at the Lord. So what we have going on right now is a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Trump administration. He literally has hired the worst cabinet and set of persons to represent a White House administration in the history of the White House.
And you don't say that lightly. It is objectively worse than the 1920 cabinet, which is the cabinet that ultimately led to the 1929 stock market crash. It's worse than them. At least they
I
were
mean,
local, right? They weren't
and here's
messing
the
up
thing, even
international.
about them, does anybody believe that those people didn't think that they were at least trying to do something for the country? Even the Teapot Dome people, at worst, they thought they were just maybe getting some extra money on the side. They didn't think they were going to destroy the country with the oil leases. They just thought they were hooking up their homies.
Right.
And here, it is the exact opposite. It's the Dunning-Kruger administration, starting off with one Alina Habba, who has finally resigned as the acting U.S. attorney for New Jersey. This is the woman who was so eminently unqualified. As soon as they had a chance, they booted her, and the judges who had sovereignty over making up the replacement selected the deputy who actually was qualified, but the deputy wasn't going to do Trump's bidding, and so they booted her and then made her acting, and she was her own lieutenant, and so now she can be that. No, it doesn't work that way. She still requires Senate confirmation. They were playing make-believe for months and months and months, and finally, the make-believe finally fell apart, and so they officially canceled her, and she is going to be Deputy Undersecretary of Asswipage for Pam Bondi, apparently. That's her new zish. Gabe, you're a Washington Politico. What is the word on the street about this chick? Does anybody feel that there's any way we're going to be rid of her? I guess is the best question.
I don't think we'll be rid of her. I mean, it's one thing where within this administration, people fail up, people are put into different jobs all the time. And I think even looking historically at Trump's lawyers in the past, he's looking for lawyers that look good on TV, play well on TV. He's looking for, what was the show? It's like an old show where there's like a lawyer. He's looking for like Columbo. He's looking for things like that. He's looking for
Ironsides.
Yeah, he's looking for that. And if he can't get that, then a pretty face is something that he's looking for too. And he's got, or what he deems are pretty faces. So he has plenty of those in abundance surrounding him, and she's gonna land somewhere. That's all we know. We know she's gonna land somewhere until she does something that is just so colossally, bad to where she has to be, kind of put out to pasture. But she'll be fine in Trump world.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lindsay Hallian a little bit later, Bob. We definitely saw that. But we're going to move on to our next Trump appointee du jour who's having problems. And these are problems that are so deep running that it has actually affected his complexion. That's Pete Hegseth. Look at them damn zits, my boy. It's like a vampire bit him right above the eyebrow. That's egregious. And of course, the number one thing, it's stress bumps, right?
He carries the stress right here.
All of it. And of course, the biggest thing on his plate right now is, war crimes. Just as an aside, does anybody else wonder how there was space for an efficient transfer of drugs on a boat that had 11 humans that is that size? Because where are you putting the drugs? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to have 10 bodies worth of drugs as opposed to 11 bodies transporting what may have been fuel? Because that's the new word on the ocean, that it was actually a fuel transfer boat, and they were meeting another boat in Suriname or near.
That makes more sense,
Suriname.
Right?
Because it would take, I think they said, 7 refuelings for a boat of that size to even reach U.S. territory.
Mm-hmm.
So again, not a particularly good way to transport drugs at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we were told, go ahead, Joy, actually.
They're relying on the ignorance of the American people to not understand geography, distance, math, fuel economy, any of those things. They just said, boat in the water, bring bad medicine and blow it up. And then the vileness of it all. I can even understand if you genuinely thought oh, we're trying to stop drugs from coming in. Nobody thought that, by the way, but we're trying to stop drugs from coming in. But then to revel in the destruction of human life, I want them to suffer. I wish it had lasted long. That's some straight to hell type stuff.
Dastardly.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, let's give them, well, not the benefit of the doubt. Let's just make the devil's advocate argument that they might get to the Gulf of America. They might have enough after 2 refuelings. They might get to the Gulf of America, which is not American waters, but just to be able to say you're somewhat close to America. At the end of the day, it's not like these drug traffickers are walking up to grandmothers in the mall and saying, sniff this. And not, that doesn't excuse, not rosacea.
Rosacea, oh my God. Hey, Chan.
The import of drugs. But like they showed on the Daily Show, drugs is business. And if you're letting free the president of Honduras, by the way, that's going to backfire on him, because when he goes to Honduras, Honduras is like, yes, bring him. We are so ready for that ass. It's not going to be the welcome that Kilmar would get. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's Hegseth. We're only on number 2. We're only on number 2.
That's right. That's right. Keep it going.
It's a long ride, baby. And
wait. Before we go,
a long ride than the city miles that are present on Kristi Noem's face, who, among other things,
Tom.
Yes.
Before we go any further, I did want to touch on. I wanted to get Lester Holt's opinion. Like, what's the word on the street like in New York or like New Jersey? Like, do you still have? Because I know you're in DC, but do you still have ties back to that area at all?
Yeah, I mean, mostly with like other offices, 4 representatives from the New York delegation, for the most part, and then the different hospitals in the area. I work mostly with the health portfolio, and then kind of more broadly the domestic portfolio for the office that I worked in. Okay.
And so I was just wondering, like, as all of this is going on, what has been the pulse in specifically in New Jersey? Like, when she resigned, was there kind of a ding dong, the witch is dead type of thing going on, or have you heard anything, or any further implications? Because she is seeming to have I almost want to say like her political career, where she just keeps popping up every now and then, like a bad case of the clap. Here she is again. Here she is again. And we thought she was gone, but apparently she has figured out how to subvert herself back under somebody else's skin. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where people kind of saw, like, going in, like, what this was. Like, okay, you're empowering the people that, smile at you and tell you you're a great guy, as opposed to any actual legal qualifications. So I think, people kind of had a feeling that this wasn't going to be a permanent thing. And thank God it wasn't, because, people's lives were at stake. Like, these are, you're like, just in that role alone, like the impact that you can have on a family's life, the trajectory of a family, the trajectory of a person's life, having that in the hands of someone this irresponsible. I think people were just kind of like, all right, she's gone. Let's move on to the next thing. This is going to be, BS coming around. Are we allowed to cuss on here?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go with some bullshit.
There you go. Feel better? I love it.
Get into it. So it is really difficult to fathom how awful this administration is. But Kristi Noem was basically scraping the bottom of her facelift to testify today in her Senate or her hearing.
Can I just say her neck looks textured, like like those old like popcorn ceilings that had, what I'm talking about?
Not the popcorn ceilings. Why your neck 3D?
Popcorn ceiling is diabolical.
Like a goose.
So, but I mean, it's not popcorn ceiling. Just to give some context, she was in because there's a lot going on with her right now. Among those are allegations of contempt from a federal judge who demanded that the airplanes be grounded And instead of grounding the airplanes, she and then advisor Emile Beauvais, now Judge Emile Beauvais, said, fuck them courts, send the planes. But he had given in the afternoon an oral injunction. He didn't type up the injunction. The oral injunction still has force. He didn't type up the injunction until a bit later, but they pushed out the planes. And so now they're trying to figure out how far are you going to lie about this? And during the course of her testimony, she was questioned by someone who asked if she had ever deported a U.S. veteran. And she said no. So then, old boy pulled up the picture on this iPad. This is a gentleman who came to our country, became a naturalized citizen, fought, earned a Purple Heart, actually 2 Purple Hearts, I think, for our country. He did experience some problems with PTSD, some substance abuse. That is in the deep past. That was 15 years ago. He's been clean, perfectly fine, 15 years. But I guess because of that, whatever the crime was that entered into his record, it popped up on the deportation. This is a naturalized guy, fought for our country, a veteran of our country, and she sent him away. So she's trying to ride on the, well, you have to follow our laws. And he said, will you thank him for his service? And he was on FaceTime. That's what the iPad was for. And so she did. And he said, will you at least look into his case and see what could possibly be done to reward him for the service to our country? You have broad discretion to enforce or not enforce, blah, 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 blah. As evidenced, by the way, by the fact that Caroline Leavitt's nephew's mother is out of detention. Just thought we should mark that and make that known. So then he brought up a second name, because this was a guy who was not the citizen problem. He's married to an Irish woman who's lived in this country. She came in legally as an 11-year-old and had been in the country for 47 years, married to him for a long time. Apparently, she wrote 2 bad checks at one point, totaling $80. And she has been in detention for 4 months.
Oh,
4 months.
Wow.
And her veteran husband's like I'm really trying to get my my wife back.
Yeah.
Is that going to be possible? And so she said, again, she would look into it. When the fire got too hot, she scooted her dog killing ass right out of the kitchen and just abruptly left the hearing early. So she knows what's up, because it's not going to be.
Did not have a good day at school.
She did not have a good day at school.
Right.
And I mean,
that was a nice cap to have that guy on FaceTime. Like, when they say it to your face, would you be so kind as to tell the man right now how you ain't shit? Can you say that? And she's like, thank you for that was well done.
And then she said, yo, you have to follow the laws and da 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 da. And he's like, oh, okay. So another person, while we're on the topic of laws, is it illegal, or is it legal for a person to seek asylum in this country? Yes. If they are in the process of a legal asylum process, is it legal to deport them? Biden, sleepy Biden. That's not what I said. I asked if it was legal to deport someone who is in the legal asylum process. Not the least of, also, is it legal to arrest someone who is coming to their final citizenship hearing?
They've been trying to do that nonsense. Yeah.
At the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
Them up. Like they do what you told them to do. They're doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing, and you're still snatching them up. And
this is exactly what we, as the 92 and 88% or whatever, this is what Black people try to tell everyone that didn't want to hear it, because they all thought it's not me. All of y'all, they're not going to waste time trying to figure out if you're legal or not. They're going to see brown skin and an accent and they snatching you. And that's exactly what's happening. And the fact that they're snatching you from the courthouse steps says they don't care whether you're trying to be here legally or not. You sound like you don't belong and you're gone. That's the logic.
And while
taking
we're on
kids
this,
out of school, waiting on parents to pick up their children, which this is not the first time the country has done that. They've disappeared parents while kids were at school before.
But can I ask, what in the Mogadishu the Somali immigrants thought they were doing by supporting Trump?
You want to understand that?
I would love to.
Sure. So you got to remember that every person of color, specifically African diasporic people, believe the things that they've seen for the last 60 years from a media standpoint. And the media is the same media that white supremacists and white neutrals and even white leftists have been seeing, which is, New Jack City, Real Housewives of Atlanta, all of the stuff that says Black Americans are lazy, shiftless, welfare queens. They had plenty of chances to get themselves out of poverty and they never did. Like all these fallacies about us. And they believe, well, that's y'all. We'll be different because we work hard, as if we didn't, right? We're going to follow the rules as if we didn't. And we're telling everyone, including the Asians and the Latinos, we've been trying this since like 1867. And we know for a fact this don't work. They're going to play you. They're going to play in your face. No, not me. And now they're playing in everybody's face. Exactly. It's the same thing. I'm going to give you a parallel. When I was in college, I'm dating myself. Luke Skywalker, Two Live Crew, all that stuff was just starting up. And our predecessors was like, you can't listen to this music. It's degrading to women. I was like, he ain't talking to me, right? We said that to these women's faces. They're not talking about us. They're talking about strippers. And now look at us. Same problem. You think you better till you find out that you're not.
And you'll always find out that you're not. It's inevitable. There is always going to be that moment where you realize you're not white and you're not a man. And you're not both.
You're not white, you're not man, you're not both. And as I have said on this show and all over the internet, you can never hate me enough for them to like you. They will never, it's gonna never turn out the way you want. They'll use you until they're done and then they'll discard you and expect you to just tuck tail and run. Look at the Latinos for Trump, who was all running those little rallies and whatnot, and then just for them to get deported, the actual people that voted for him, which if they were able to vote, implies that they have some United States citizenry, and they still chuck right on up out of here.
Well, let's chuck right up on out of here to googly eyes.
Chan. You know what? I'm always jump scare with this guy.
Brother, Cash App.
What? I'm gonna bring it to a meme. Brother.
What is that, brother?
Brother. The nose is off kilter. That lip is off kilter. The eye is off kilter. The hair is off kilter.
It looks like an invisible fist is hitting him from the right side.
Oh, slow motion.
Yeah.
So the problem with Cash, it's basically Indian man's kryptonite. His girlfriend has a SWAT detail as her personal detail because she supposedly is getting death threats for being adjacent to him. Now, I mean, you have a choice, ma'am. You have a choice of men who are not 15 years your senior, because you're a singer, and so you could probably have any number of corn-fed white boys who want to protect you. But the real problem,
if that's her type, there's plenty of Indian dudes
who aren't national scandals.
Right? Kamal Nanjiani is like right there.
Literally.
So here's the thing. Not only does she have a SWAT detail, but the SWAT detail was asked to take home her drunk friends.
Not
That's
not
what got him in
designated
extra
drivers.
trouble this week. It's not just your country singing MAGA superstar chick. It's her friends were so drunk. You guys take my friends home. And they did. But because this is America and everything is on social media, that turned into a little bit of a problem. Moving on. Page 6, as Paul Harvey would say. Marco Rubio. Now, Marco Rubio, to me, is living in his own personal hell because unlike some of these folks, he was an elected senator who actually ran for president and was given a credible shot outside of Trump being who
He
Trump
once
is.
had a future.
He once had a future. He's a Latino.
He was the future of the party. We all remember this.
A Latino senator from Florida, you know, looked credible, you know, tried to throw a few jabs at Trump, never really landed, got branded as being Little Marco. Now he's the Secretary of State, in addition to his West Indian coterie of other jobs that he's covering for, because one person has like 6 jobs, 1 check, 6 jobs. And I'm way ahead of you, Mike. He changed the font from Calibri back to Times New Roman for all correspondence from the State Department. And so I created this little graphic. Rubio will never be POTUS in Times New Roman and Calibri in italics, and see his face even is in italics. In bold, and he's got a bold line around his face and then bold italics. Rubio, you have tanked your career, bro. You sold your soul for a shot at maybe bumping JD Vance out of contention when 2028 comes around. And now you have done it. And my joke was, why would you change the font to the failing New York Times? Because you could have gone with anything. Minions.
Not make Comic Sans great again.
Make Comic Sans great. This is no joke. This is not a joke. We can't use Comic Sans because it's not a joke. Very much not a joke. Someone who is perhaps a joke. RFK.
You know what? I feel like it might be wrong to make fun of his voice, so I'm not. But I really won't.
No, it isn't. He probably got that voice because he didn't get a vaccination when he was a child.
Right. Most people have a frog in their throat. I think he has bear though.
Well, he might have a brain worm, or he's been gargling used heroin needles. I'm not sure.
2 things can be true.
All of these things can be true. He is the one whose scandal is actually the most traditional. Although he did ask for the rollback of the Hep B vaccine for infants, because I guess he thinks that you can only get Hep B from sexual contact, which is just not true.
No, Hep B is transferable by any form of contact.
And babies are passed around. You don't know whose hands that baby is getting close to. But he has 2 scandals, all the vaccine stuff, but the vaccine denial stuff is old.
Marie, we can.
We absolutely can.
We absolutely can, yes.
This is the current scandal du jour. And no, this is not the cheetah, although she's a cheater. This is Olivia Nuzzi. And when I tell you the lack of aura on their sex tweets.
Wait. Is she dating RFK?
Ma'am, that's the whole team.
So is he Olivia Nuzzi's John?
No, he's her lover over text. And I can't even repeat the nature of these texts. Gabe, have you heard the transcripts of the texts?
I have not. I'm very curious.
So take it upon yourself, Sharpie, to Google RFK text to Olivia Nuzzi. Let me just say that he makes positive comparisons of his anatomy and Rivers. It is
Not
like
good.
creepy grandpa texts.
Not
And
a
first
good
of all, I don't know how Olivia Nuzzi is at least a MAGA attractive woman. She kind of looks like Rumor Willis, actually. That's a strong chin. But she's very young. And he's married. And now RFK's wife, whom you might know from
Wait,
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
what the hell? What the hell is this?
I told you. Joy just went and looked at it. Now she's reading it, so she does.
What is he even talking about?
He's talking about fluids on her face and in her body, in certain orifices. That's about as clean and PG-13 as I can make it. It's not great.
I am going to try to rinse my brain out with bleach.
Thank you. It's necessary. Maybe you can shine like a really bright light up there. I hear that the strong light can kill the COVID. Or
Danielle Steele with Brandon.
Oh, they call it UV.
yeah, no, it's gross. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, gross, super gross. Moving on, because we're keeping this freight train of foolishness going on. This is McCrary, Mr. McCrary. He was the chief architect of the ballroom. And the American Institute of Architects believe that maybe his ballroom architecture may have violated the AIA's Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, probably because the ballroom is too damn big. It's huge, and oh my God, Phil, come on, man. So
these are our Sharpies, man. We love them.
These are our Sharpies. So because the ballroom is so big, and that is a historical building, and Trump wanted to make it bigger, what finally got him the axe is that he said, nah, I can't make it any bigger. Like, it's already too big. I just can't make it any bigger. You're fired. Okay, well, that may be the best thing that's happened to him, because now he's got to go to his peers and be like, look, I'm sorry. I thought it was just going to be a little room. I thought it was going to be, they said the East Wing wouldn't be affected. And then all of a sudden during the shutdown, the East Wing was torn down. The East Wing is torn down for Christmas.
Remember when he first moved into the White House in his first term, and he said how it was a real shithole and it was a mess and it was so run down, et cetera. Now it literally looks abandoned. And he did that.
It looks like a Baltimore trap house.
Just riding by it, walking by. It's just you're just so shocked by the image of just wreckage.
Yeah.
Just stuff thrown around. It's just like, wow, like they really did this for no reason.
So Gabe, riddle me this. Does it appear that there has been any foundation laying or anything on the new structure? It's all just torn down right now.
Just wood and broken pieces. It looks like they destroyed it and left it, and it's just
don't know. They don't went through that part.
Yeah.
The thing that's crazy to me is that that's where visitors used to go.
Yeah.
And so this is all open and exposed. And I know in most construction projects, maybe you might have some thick plastic sheeting. We're going into winter. Is it just going to be plywood with spray paint on it? What is it?
Phil's got a point. What else do you expect from a slumlord? This is exactly the pattern every one of his buildings has taken. Tear it down, be in a mess, try to get people to do something for free, don't pay them, end up doing something slipshod. People go in there and, sue and get hurt and whatnot, and then bankruptcy. Yeah.
Oh, and shocker, none of the contractors have been paid.
I don't know what. Again, people keep thinking, "Oh, it's not going to happen to me." Yeah, it's going to happen to you too.
And all of those donations from some of those big money donors, they have not all donated. I think Jamie Dimon scared some of them. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this because it looks like the Dems are coming in for the midterms, and do I want to be in a congressional hearing about this donation to this thing, which probably violated a whole bunch of laws? Maybe we might be a little bit late on that check.
Oh yeah, those are coming. Those are definitely
So
coming.
we are going to close out this segment with the bright silver lining of the incompetence of the administration.
Like Chan said, if someone wrote a book about this, it would sound like lazy writing. Like
it would.
You just
it
writing
would
what
sound
happened.
as lazy as the writing of that girl at Oklahoma University, who absolutely deserved the 0 she got. Put a pin in it.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the good news in the incompetence of the Trump administration.
Yeah,
Letitia James, for the second time in a week,
go
the grand jury has refused to indict her.
They need to leave that black lady alone.
They're gonna learn.
And now they are just stacking up the vindictive prosecution evidence, because you get the one because she threw away the indictment, but it wasn't on the merits. It was on the basis that Lindsay Halligan, here's your callback, Bob Breeden, Lindsay Halligan was not actually an attorney, the attorney for the Southern District of blah, 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 blah. So she didn't dismiss it with prejudice. So you get the one, come back. However, since Letitia James has been a part of the indictment process, so much more information has come out. And the latest thing that came out was not only was she not renting to the niece, she was paying the mortgage for the building and actually lost money because she was also covering repairs and stuff like that. So it cost her money to have her niece there. Not only did she not make any money, it cost her money. So the whole premise of she was renting it illegally, Also, by the way, the niece signed the addendum because it wasn't her. So she never signed anything saying it was going to be her primary residence. She admitted that it wasn't her primary residence, but it was another home for her. And so there wasn't anything in the mortgage fraud anyway. And Bill Pulte, the guy who is the scion of the Pulte real estate people, he's now in hot water for pulling all this stuff. Swalwell, Schiff, all these other things. Nothing that he's done has worked. And come to find out, Donald Trump in the 90s, after he bought Mar-a-Lago, bought 2 more properties. And on the mortgage papers, he said both of those properties, purchased within a month of each other, were going to be his primary residence.
Wow. Like you can't write this stuff you couldn't write this.
Shonda Rhimes could. If Shonda Rhimes wrote it,
she could.
Kerry Washington would be like, I know you damn lie.
Right.
Since he didn't go take a walk.
Right. Can you imagine if Papa Pope existed in real life? How if he was like in the Senate or handling anything, just in the news, it would be so wonderful. I would love to see him dress down all of them all at once. He could take them on all at once.
Okay, if you can believe it, this is only our second segment.
Oh, Lord.
That was a super segment.
We 40 minutes in. Okay, the rest of it's going to go quick.
In. Yeah. But I wanted to give people a chance to come and join the party because this is exciting news. And Gabe, Joy and Gabe, I'm going to give you this because there is a misogynoir part, and that's definitely going to be your wheelhouse. And then Gabe, there's the Politico part and some of the nonsense that's going on. So Jasmine Crockett has entered the race. And she is now competing just against James Tallarico because Colin Allred very wisely stepped aside. And so it's James Tallarico, who I like as a candidate. I like both of these candidates. Let me just say that. But I do not ascribe to the notion that she can't win because she's a Black woman in Texas. So that said, 3, 2, 1, Joy, hit it.
The difference between the national or the federal election for president and the local election for Senate is every vote counts as opposed to delegates, et cetera. Texas is gerrymandered to hell and back. I specifically remember seeing Austin County. So if you think about it, you got like Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, and Dallas. We'll just talk about that triangle. Austin is 3.5 hours from Houston, 3.5 hours from Dallas, and 2.5 hours from Houston, right? Why does Austin County touch Dallas? That's how bad it is. They just kept expanding Austin County to keep including more rural white people that should have had their own block so that Austin politics will follow a certain line. And the rest of the country, with the exception of Harris County, which is Houston, which is also boxed in to some extent. So it keeps being more dense without getting more representation. It's a mess. But Harris County is super blue. Austin is blue as well, but Austin County is not because of that long tail. Dallas, I'm just going to say, Fort Worth, however, is a different story. So all of this to say, she can absolutely win. She can absolutely, and it's a good time for it because Colin did pave the way. He got almost there, right? There were still some questions from him and her, but now they've seen Abbott being a whole fool. Nobody even likes Crazy Ted. And she is on the rise, and she is the voice of a lot of disenchanted youth. You know what I'm saying? And when I say youth, I'm talking 35 and under. Not to mention, she looks their age. She looks like she's Gen Z or millennial. Well, she is millennial because she's 44, right? But she don't look 44. And I'm gonna touch on the massage and ward. So as people are like, yeah, Jasmine's great. We need more voices like her in the party and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna run for Senate. And so I saw a discussion on this on Threads earlier today that this whole thing about her being a quote unquote Zionist, none of that came up until she started trying to run for the Senate. And the assumption by a lot of people is that's interference, Russian bots type stuff, trying to make these things up just to make sure that they tank her election. But we don't think it's going to work. When I talk to my friends, because I got a couple of friends that are like judges and whatnot in Texas, and they are very excited about her being in this race. Now, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the last point you made about her being a Zionist, it's one of those things. I see similarities in that to Kamala as a cop, or Kamala locked up so many black men, and it's just like she didn't at the scale that y'all are talking about. That literally did not happen.
Right.
But you have these Russian bots. You have these bots that have to push out this image, these messages that catch on with, that are targeted at us and catch on with us, particularly us as in black men.
Black people, yeah, because we like a soundbite. I will say this: the difference that I expect, because I can't say I've seen it, but the difference that I expect between her and Kamala Harris is that Kamala let that notion hang out there for a while. It was this whole idea of I'll rise above, it'll die out, the truth will out itself. And none of that happened. And then she had to kind of go on a tour of, hey, take that back, it's not true. And I still commend D.L. Hughley for trying to change that voice, but the cat was out of the bag, so to speak. Jasmine does not suffer fools. And she is already countering this. And there's already buzz on the internet about, the one quote that they took out of context from an interview where they shut it off before it got to the fuller interview to try to make it sound like she was in favor. So she's like, let me show you this whole interview, right? And so she's here nipping things in the bud immediately. So I think that's going to go better for her.
And let's take a look at a particular video that I really enjoyed. I don't have her campaign launch, but it set the internet on fire. But let's take a look at how she's combating and reaching out, I think, in a very smart way to the population that could very well tilt the election in her favor. Here we go.
She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who else willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect the ones touching them. Trump invading his own country with an army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing but they think again. They only trying to scare out of running cause they think she win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot living, Jasmine Crockett. Everyone in MAGA isn't racist. Yeah, that might be true, but in all of history, I never seen a Nazi flag be blue. So which side you wanna choose? Me, I hope my money goes to the side that isn't trying to say affordabilities. I hope she stand on business, all 10 toes. Texas tough, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
I love that dude. I've been following him doing like a rap a day. He's extremely good with a verse.
Bars.
Eloquent, intelligent bars. Yes. His
Bars.
flow is a little bit different every time.
It is, yeah.
It feels like he's talking. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
he was jamming a lot of syllables in some of them phrases.
Yeah, he was.
But that's
really make it work.
It's how she knew. I'm gonna cross my legs now. I'm gonna side eye on this bar. I'm gonna take a sip here. I'm gonna look dead at the camera now. I'm gonna give a ow. It was so smart to me. And one of my favorite
that ow is also very specific because that is a Meg Thee Stallion Houstonian thing.
She knows exactly what she's doing. And one of my favorite content creators is Amanda's Mild Takes.
Yeah.
And she was addressing the fact that some people were saying, a Black woman can't win. She said, I mean, all you've ever done is throw white men at the problem and you've never won. So she didn't count Colin Allred, obviously. But maybe this is the time because Cornyn can't bring that energy. And Ken Paxton is damaged. So my best case is Ken Paxton wins, or maybe because I don't think it'll be either Ken Paxton or Cornyn. I don't think the third guy has a chance. And if Ken Paxton, he escaped being impeached and removed, but the scandal is still there.
Right. And she's the kind of candidate when debates and stuff start happening. She not only will she not hold her tongue, she will lead with it. So she got nothing but smoke for everybody.
And that's the thing. The incredible thing about her is that Texas is actually a majority minority state.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody was like, she just needs to stay in her district. But her district has been gerrymandered. There's a higher possibility of her not winning the newly redrawn district. Senate is statewide. There are no districts. It doesn't matter. It's just pure vote. So let's see. Make it happen. We will see. It will either be her or Tallarico. I like Tallarico. I think he's whip smart. I think he's very sharp. I think he is very wise in how he attacks things and how he pokes at hypocrisy. But to me, I think he comes off as a bit soft for Texas. Like I think Beto was soft for Texas.
Jasmine, but if somebody meant Beto only lost by like 3%.
That's
even
true.
Then, yeah.
But he lost.
Yeah.
And like with this split screen that you have with these two candidates on the Democrat side, with James and with Jasmine, it's like y'all have been just saying, Jasmine, even her role in Congress now is kind of as a spokesperson for where the Democrat Party is trying to go, or as they figure out where they're trying to go. She's the one that's kind of messaging about affordability. She's messaging about the corruption of the Trump administration, things like that. So that's already her role in a sense. And it's like with Tallarico, I think I'm very curious why. I think in a conventional election year, he's running for the House. I don't think he's really running for, like, jumping straight from state legislature to the United States Senate. That's not a common move. But
no,
at the same time, we don't live in conventional times. So I could definitely see the point about him kind of having this appearance or coming off as soft. But at the same time, it reminds me a little bit of Jimmy Carter in a sense, where it's like Jimmy Carter, off the wall smart, but at the same time, polite, gentle, from the South, all that good stuff.
And a lot of toxic men see that as a wimp.
But let's be clear. Carter had the advantage of running against the guy who pardoned Nixon. Yep. All of his gifts and all of his intelligence, that was like an Obama opportunity. You go from a super duper popular 2-term Republican president who had to resign in ignominy, and then you had Ford didn't win. He was never elected, and he was a bit of a stumble guy. And Chevy Chase made way too much of it than should have been. But at the end of the day, he was the guy that pardoned the national stain. And so you got Jimmy in. But as good as Jimmy Carter was, and noble and wonderful a human as he was, He only got the one shot.
Right.
They elected Reagan for 2 terms, and that got us Bush 1. So
right. And ultimately led us to where we are now.
I don't see it. I didn't think Colin Allred played hard enough, and I was giving Colin Allred $5 a month. But if I'm gonna keep it a buck. Colin Allred's white wife hurt him more than he thinks it does, because it's still a lot of people. They will vote for a football star. He went to school at Baylor and was an NFL guy. Okay, had a relatively short career, but was an NFL guy. And Texas football is God. That white wife, my boy.
Yeah.
Still the South.
Still the South.
You're getting hate from both sides.
South.
Jasmine doesn't have that problem. She may not have been a football star, but and this is going to sound wrong when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. That sassy Black woman stereotype is palatable to Texans. They're used to that. They're used to the clapback women, the blah, blah, blah. They accept that and they understand it. So that won't necessarily be a notch in the negative for her if she can use that during her debates.
Don't mess with Texas.
I'm waiting for the Beyonce drop. Bring some Cowboy Crockett up in this bitch.
They're negotiations right now.
Happen.
They're negotiations right now. They have to be.
Got to be. So speaking, we just had a little bit of a little rap thing, and so for those of you who follow my page, I did another drop this week. It does have something to do with the orange one. So let's just take a look at something that we all want to see: his MRI.
Oh man, you are melting your brain like a cake that was left out in the rain. You like disco, though you really can't dance, and there's a strange smell from your pants. Doctors know just what they should do. They need pictures of your head full of goo. They use magnets in a great big machine, and you find it at Walter Reed. We need to take a look at his MRI. We all deserve to see his MRI. Maybe he had a stroke while he's trotting the globe with a damaged prefrontal lobe. His MRI. We need to take a look at his MRI. Oh man, you are not at your best, falling asleep at the Resolute desk. His MRI, we know you lying about his MRI. Oh man, you are looking a mess, playing around with your cerebral cortex.
You're wrong for ending with the necklace. You really are.
Thank you for attention to gray matter.
Can I just say I never realized how random and disorganized the original YMCA video was. They were just standing around in them outfits, just doing whatever.
They just, hey, we're all here.
Right.
They were out on the pier. They were at the YMCA. They were just doing their thing. And the wonderful thing about, first of all, I have to say, hats off to AI, because I could not have possibly gotten Black nurses in scrubs dancing with patients in stock video.
Right.
Nor could I have gotten, and my coworker, when I showed her the video of the x-ray, she was like, how did you get Trump's x-ray? And I said, it's not actually Trump. It's obese white man with feathered hair in an x-ray with, instead of a brain, a mean troll running around. And that was one of the ones that didn't have a mean troll, but that was the one who absolutely looked the most like Trump. And I was like, I just can't not use this. This is just so perfect.
I was like, it's a little simple. I don't know. It's not too far off.
Even the blown eyeballs. Like,
yeah, it was so great. I was very, very pleased. So This is the second drop in my Christmas present, my 12 days of Trumpmas. I do have one coming that is not at all Trump-centric. It's more nostalgic, and it is more authentically Christmas. So that'll be dropping sometime this weekend. Thank you. Hey, Harry Brown, Alpha Z brother. So we have a couple more things. Our next big topic, and this is actually going to be a quick one. What about them tariffs again? So one of the reasons Trump made a big to-do, actually I'll just say a big stink, was the trade deficit that we have with other countries. Go ahead.
Big stink. It was something I wanted to ask you about that video. The stain on the back of his pants, was that AI?
Yeah, that's fake. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not AI. It was faked.
Okay.
But I don't care.
I don't care either. I just want to know.
He buys every day.
Right.
If he sends out AI,
it probably happened at some point. We just don't have a picture of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, actually, supposedly we do have a couple of pictures, not of him playing golf, but there are apparently some pictures of him where there's a stain on his, like it was a forward shot and he's sitting in a chair and there's some discoloration.
But chair.
Yeah, people know what's up with him. So we have this surplus. That was the problem. So many countries have a surplus, a trade surplus. They're doing this wrong for so many decades. Yeah. Okay, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a trade surplus. Anyway, China. The thing you were so concerned about, 150% tariff on rice, whatever, everything. You tell them, Joy, what's the China tariff? Surplus now. What's the China
$1 trillion.
Trillion.
You know how much is a trillion? It's a million billions. Was it 100,000 billions? But it's
1,000 billions.
1,000 billions.
He's just making this shit up as he goes.
Right.
Trillion. And here's the thing. The reason he has to bail out these farmers, and he was asleep at the signing of that thing, and he woke up to it's 12 billion. Well, there's 11. We're holding $1 billion back. Go back to sleep. Is because they didn't buy soybeans. And the commitment they got in the quote unquote deal is for less soybeans than they bought the last year of Biden's administration. And some of these farmers are out, they're going out of the soybean cycle.
Right.
Because they rotate crops. So they had all the soybeans now. But next year, they're not going to be growing soybeans. They'll be growing tobacco or whatever else it is that they're going to grow. And so, yes, you got these commitments. Meanwhile, China said, we can buy soybeans from Argentina. We good. We don't care. Our people, you know how much Chinese people care about where the soy comes from? They don't.
They don't at all.
They do not. They're not looking for that "Made in America" label.
They really
nobody, including America, is really looking for a "Made in America" label.
Correct. You about to see more salted edamame in every bar you go to. That's going to be the new.
Right. They need a lobby like the cheese people had a lobby back in the day. Everything is better with tofu. That's what they need to be doing right now.
And tofu ain't it. Edamame. Listen, I like edamame.
Yeah.
I don't mind the furry little pods. I don't care. And shelled edamame, where all I had to do is heat it up and sprinkle some rock salt on it or whatever. That's great. I even have, look, I ain't lying. I got edamame right now.
Hilarious.
In my office because it's crunchy. It's a high protein snack, low fat, blah, blah, blah. I love edamame. I can't buy $24 billion worth of it.
And to your point about we can't buy that much, people don't understand population numbers either. It ain't enough of us to subsidize what China was buying.
China got 1.2, 1.3 billion people. I know India is more than them now. Listen, it's about to be PF edamame.
Right.
Edamame with everything. Just here's your edamame.
Soy sauce is about to replace ketchup.
No, that's right. Low sodium soy sauce, all sorts of soy things. Tofu for everybody. Tofurkey.
But speaking of the tariffs and everything, I'm gonna spill the tea on where I used to live, because I moved in April because my old condo got on my nerves. Now they had been needing to do a massive reconstruction project that when I failed to get it like pushed through because we just ran out of time and it was too much other fuckery going on. Long story short, the new group spent the money that we had said we wouldn't spend any more money until we got this project done. And they decided they needed some cute shit on the gates. And so now you can open the gates with your phone and whatnot. It's real cute, but that drained the reserves. And so when the reserves are drained, you can't get a good loan with a good interest rate. And so since they can't get a good loan with a good interest rate, they decided to postpone the project. Until when? What you gonna do? And on top of that, we probably could have got it done for like 8 million, maybe 2 years ago. It's gonna be 15 million when they finally look at it, because it was 13 million right when I left. I was like, I gotta move. I didn't even finish that sentence. And the people that didn't move when I did, because I didn't tell nobody I moved, because I needed my property value to stay up. The place I bought is now worth $20,000 less than I sold it for in March. Right? And so all of this is a spiral from the tariffs, because if the materials didn't cost so much, the loan would need to be so much. If we weren't doing so many things with interest rates, that would be different too. People can't afford to buy or sell, and it has left all of them people who, with the exception of like 2 folks, everybody in that building, but it has left everybody destitute. And this is the cycle of decay that we're seeing in the United States. And even the financial people like these tariffs are stupid, but the president, in his Dunning-Krugerness, just believes that he's right about this and lies about being wrong. But I don't know nothing. Y'all go ahead.
Speaking of things that have been lying about, we have a quick segment. This is a 1-comment segment. Stay healthy, Sharpies, because the Senate nor the House is going to be able to. Well, the House didn't even try to extend the subsidies. So they weren't even playing that game. There were 2 bills in the Senate. The Democrats, of course, wanted to extend the subsidies for 3 more years, which would have covered everybody. Everybody would be safe. And the Republicans came back with, but these health savings accounts, which we said last show, the health savings accounts ain't going to do nothing. So
it's just moving money from one spot to another.
The premium hikes, it's come January 1st. They're coming. And there was a woman, Super MAGA, of course, whose subsidized Obamacare plan was $87 a month. And she got a notice from her provider that her monthly premium was going to be $1,761.
I sure hate that for her.
She said, that's more than I make in a month.
So much winning.
And you're right, Bob. The stock market, first of all, the stock market never dipped during the last 2 years of Biden's. It was record highs when Biden left office. And here's the thing that boggles my mind. The economy was on the rise. People can say that they weren't feeling it, but we really were the envy of the world. There were plenty of other countries who were still stuck in almost double-digit inflation. We brought it down, employed all these people. All he had to do was change Biden's name off of all the infrastructure projects and put his name on it, and then tell people, look at how much better it's getting. If he had not messed with the tariffs, if he hadn't done anything, if he had just said, I talked with my advisors and we're going to do this instead. We're going to flip the switch on the switch flip. And people were like, oh, wow. Okay. Look at this. No farmers to complain. No increased costs. No small businesses feeling the pressure. China not increasing their trade surplus with us. Not having the entire world angry at us. And prices would actually be coming, if not coming down, inflation would be 1% instead of.
this is the pattern. And it's par for the course, because what did he do with his own businesses, right? There was a big story, well, not a story, but it was a big understanding amongst anybody who really knew him that if he had just never touched the money that his dad left him and put it in like a savings account, he'd have more money than he does now. And by the same token, what you're talking about, if he had just left what Biden was doing alone and just got some scotch tape and put his name across the top, we'd be doing better. The world is better off if he just stays out of it.
And it's like, think back to their many attempts to repeal and replace Obamacare. Like at one point, they just took Obama's name off of it and basically just took the same plan and just tried to pitch that exact same plan for the most part and tried to spin it as something that they came up with. And they couldn't even do that. So it's just like, if you have something that's already working and you can take somebody's name off of it and put your name on it, it's like, okay, cool. Call it what you want. As long as it's working, people are going to be fine. But
we've got breaking news from Bob Reed, and apparently Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually on the floor gathering votes to out Speaker Mike Johnson. Oh,
wow.
And this comes on the heels of another person who has said they're retiring, and he is on the razor's edge of having enough votes to actually get business done. You have to have 218. I think he's at 219. Marjorie's going to leave, and then if he loses one more, he doesn't actually have a majority anymore. Now, it would take some folks jumping from the Republican side to support a Speaker Jeffries, and I don't know that that's going to happen. But if Mike Johnson loses the gavel, I hate to wonder who they might be able to rally around. Probably we just wouldn't have a speaker for several months. But Marjorie is retiring on the 5th. And if Nancy Mace looks like she's halfway out the damn door too, because there's no love lost for her. And Elise Stefanik, she's ready. I guess Elise Stefanik might actually be the person that they might try to rally behind, because
you think?
She hates Johnson.
She's at a very interesting time in Congress, or at least in the Trump. She was supposed to be the UN ambassador. They were like, hey, actually, we need you to stay.
Yeah, we need your vote. And then treated her like crap. And guess what? I don't think she's going to win again.
No.
So the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
As much as things have swung to the left, if you are a Republican in New York, it's going to be rough. They elected a Democratic socialist as the mayor of the biggest city in the country.
Miami just elected a Democratic mayor for the first time in 30 years.
For the first time in 30 years. Oh, it's a blue city. Then why was it run by a Republican who won by 67 points in the last election?
Right.
I mean, yes, they do have more registered Democrats in Miami, apparently.
And once again, this country, by the numbers, is 51%, maybe 54% Democratic leaning. But because of the Montana, milquetoast policies and attempts at power that the Democrats have tried to run since the 70s, because that's when you started having party shifts and everything else. But since the beginning of the two-party system in this country, the party that has been a little bit more progressive and maybe a little bit more open and accepting or whatever has failed to hold their racist, sexist, homophobic, their MAGA predecessor types accountable. It starts all the way back with the Civil War, when it was over and they just said, okay, y'all come on home and let's be quiet and have dinner, right? That was the first mistake. And you let people that were seditious to this country come back and be a part of it with no repercussions, right? And they've been doing it ever since. It's always going to be okay. They didn't mean it. And we hear them talk about Trump that way. We hear them talk about RFK the way he was just playing. He didn't mean it. How many millions of second chances are crazy white men going to get before somebody acknowledges, hey, maybe we should hold them accountable? And it's going to take their own kind holding them accountable, which is why people are so in love at the moment with your governor, because he has stepped up and started showing out a little bit in California, Newsom,
And Swalwell is running to replace Newsom, and that would be the goose they
He
need
said they call Stefanik
Slimer.
Slimer from the Ghostbusters.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, I'm not going to forget that.
Swalwell needs the profile of being a governor to elevate his prospects. It's not, obviously it's not a 2028 play, but it's 2032, maybe
2036.
36 maybe. But Swalwell, I like Swalwell too. And quite frankly, I hear you about Kamala Harris. Of course, I voted for Kamala Harris and stumped for Kamala Harris and did a whole bunch of things. Let's see if Jasmine gets in. Maybe I'll change my mind. But even JD Vance, and I don't even know that JD Vance is going to be the nominee. It's certainly not going to be that other guy. But we have one more thing before we move into our closing segment. And this is a real quick one. The Supreme Court handed Texas and Trump a victory in allowing the Texas maps to stay. And immediately in the aftermath of that, the GOP House, the state House of Indiana, approved the gerrymandered maps for Indiana. But today, the Senate said, nah. With a supermajority, more than a dozen senators defied the wishes and voted against the Indiana map. Now, that may be because Maryland was standing at the ready to
do what
flip.
California did.
Virginia was ready. And I think the writing's just on the wall. The folks in these GOP states see that even in the reddest of a red district, there's the possibility that what he has done is going to hurt you.
Absolutely.
They flipped a seat in Georgia at the
that
state
have been
level.
red since we were born and before.
Yeah. And so these things are flipping. And Caroline Levitt can say all she wants, and Mike Johnson can say what he wants. Nobody believes it. Mm-hmm. Nobody believes that they are going to be in the majority. That's why as many as 40 sitting GOP House members are slated to announce either before the year or right after the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Are ready to announce that they are not seeking re-election. Some of them are in quote unquote safe districts, but I don't know that there are any more safe districts.
No.
And
because Middle America is mad, and they're finally mad where that mad needs to be, which is at the Republican Party that's been serving them wolf tickets for the last 6 generations. Like, you finally recognize that it's not the them and theys, it's not the trans kids, it's not the homeless that's causing you problems. It's the rich people siphoning all the blood out of your body, and now literally making it impossible for you to get health care for that. So yeah, be mad where you should be mad.
And it's the tale as old as time. I mean, look at the Civil War. I mean, the people fighting in the Civil War were dirt farmers. The people that were calling the shots were the plantation owners. They're like, yeah, you can be like me someday. Just go fight, preserve slavery and all that. And someday you'll get there. And it's like, no, you won't. You never will. Because they don't want you.
Speaking of people who have an agenda, like Project 2025. This is the segment that I've actually been waiting for because it's exciting to see this level of professional hatred. I call this segment Summa Cum Trolle because 50 Cent did the thing. And you see, that's a very cheesy smile. And unlike some people who get veneers, he actually maintained the normal human shape of his teeth. It doesn't look like
he didn't get a mouthful of front teeth.
Mouthful of chiclets. Yeah. No. But he's smiling like that because he's on an interview, a morning interview on ABC News. Now, you might ask, why would he go on ABC News? That seems like an odd place to go. ABC News is one of the few channels that Puffy can watch in jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next level of trolling.
Next level. And to give you, because I don't know how many of y'all is, oh, wow.
Did he do it?
Wow.
Did he do it?
I don't know how many of you all have been watching the Netflix documentary. And here's the other thing. A lot of people have been like, I don't even know how he got all that footage because he ain't paid the videographer.
That was the question I had. Is like, how did he get all of this? Because he didn't pay the videographer, and then he did some research. And it wasn't like 50 was running around with a camera doing all of these things.
Oh, hell no.
Alex, the woman who's the director of it all, really wanted the story to get out. And my belief, this is just I have nothing. I'm just my belief. I got no proof, is that she wanted this documentary to come out because it talks so eloquently and so deeply and so heart-wringingly about the abuse that so many people suffered at his hands, including some of the men around him. And it wasn't salacious. It was heartbreaking to hear all of this. I think some of these cases have already been adjudicated. You know, there's no double jeopardy, et cetera. So she took him to trial in a court of public opinion for people that didn't hear it. And she put them jurors on trial too. If you watched it, you know them jurors ain't shit. But I think that Fitty put it out because he wanted to make sure that the American culture never forgave Puffy, ever.
So you made a point. I have downloaded a video from a content creator who it kind of pretty much obviates your need to sit through 4 hours. He did it in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So let's take a look at this creator, Carlo Mali's, who is hilarious. I like him in general. But what he did with the Diddy documentary is absolutely chef's kiss.
And Michael, you're right. Somebody told me that Diddy was the Trump of music. And I'm like, you know what? That fits. That fits.
Wow. Carlo, take it away.
The thing is, I'm trying my best. It's just you got 500 allegations.
It doesn't matter what I did. It matters how I look to people. Y'all worry about CNN News. Put me on TikTok. Put me on Instagram. Make me look good. Get me a PR team that works with the dirtiest, sleaziest, slimiest. No, please kill him. I will pay whatever. Just kill him. He's Tupac. Kill him.
Did you have anything to do with the murder of Tupac?
Who?
The rapper.
How many?
No, just one. The West Coast rapper you had a feud with.
Yeah, nah. I don't got nothing to do with that. Hey, don't forget to get the fanny pack, the one with the drugs and the gun and the baby oil in it. Yeah, we're gonna need that.
Hey, you sure I should be recording?
Why would you stop?
It's just the stuff you're saying.
You broke me. It's like y'all broke people just operate on a different level. Keep recording.
Hey, your best friend just died.
Yeah, I know. As you can see, I'm real torn up about it. But it's about turning a negative into a profit. I mean, positive.
Yeah, it's very kind of you to pay for his funeral, like you said you were going.
Me?
Hey, Diddy, this is my wife. She's an amazing artist.
Nice to meet you. Don't you think you met our wife?
No, we've been happily married for years.
I mean, you could join in sometimes. It's just, you know what? Let me take it from here. I don't know this man. I don't know his music. But from what I see, if you're happy and you know it, you clap your hands. If you're not, you don't clap your hands. It is very simple concept. If I see her clapping her hands, I'm going to think she's happy.
But sir, there's footage of him beating the shit out of his girlfriend.
That is just two people passionately in love.
So, do you beat your wife?
We're not talking about me.
So it's been made pretty clear that Diddy's a violent person.
I mean, he can be.
Why are you laughing?
It's just funny because, you know, I'm not really a fan of his, but I grew up listening to like all his artists, and he was making the same faces he was making to me and making the band, that show he did years ago.
So you essentially are a fan of his.
What? No. What are you talking about?
Hey, do you mind paying me for the years of work I put in?
Why would you want that?
It's just, I have a family to feed and you're like making all of the money.
We have a good arrangement. Don't try to mess shit up. Hey, listen. Don't try to mess this up or I'll kill you or put you in jail. Pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah. All right, man. Yo, give me some hand sanitizer. And fill me up a bath with hydrogen peroxide, Clorox, Lysol, all that. Ugh. I can't believe these monkeys touched me.
Yeah, isn't that the same dude that's always like sensational? Well, like with the deep voice?
No, it's actually not. That is the 6'7" guy.
Yeah.
But Carlo also has a deep voice. Carlo does more humorous stuff. The 6'7" guy is more like commentary stuff.
Yeah.
But Carlo actually does a lot of humorous stuff. And so you're welcome. You may or may not feel compelled to watch the rest of the documentary because that was the greatest hits. Like he got the jurors in there. He got the why would you stop recording? I mean, it's like
all
2
of
minutes
that.
and 44 seconds. That was almost a complete rundown.
Yeah.
Like watching the documentary, my first thought was like, as it started, I'm like, why is this is him. Like this is him recording. Like who advised him to do that? Who told, like, this is evidence. This is evidence, man.
He is the Trump of music. Somebody probably said maybe you should only record, things when you're out in public. And he's like, nah, we're gonna keep it real. And they need to see the real me. And the real you went to jail.
Yeah.
So, bruh.
For many months. And look, you'd be lucky. It's probably gonna be an auto pen pardon if you get one, because you don't bring anything to the table for him. And speaking of pardon, I didn't even think about this. But this was a Trump administration self-owned, because Trump went out of his way to pardon Texas Representative Henry Cuellar. And that was a pretty scandalous situation. But it's also apparent that Trump expected that if he pardoned Cuellar would either flip now or declare that he was going to run as a Republican in 2026 and, instantly give him a free seat that he didn't even have to work for. And Cuellar was like, yeah, but no, thanks for that.
Like, why would I do that?
Why would I'm free now. You can't unpardon me.
Right.
And
I'm going to Mexico.
He's like, I understand, like, coming after me, but you came after my wife, and that was just too far.
Meanwhile, Ted Cruz over there, like, you can come after my wife again if you want,
Lord, Ted.
Ted is the biggest cuck in American politics. That is crazy.
Cuck-a-doodle fool. That's who he is.
And I am just waiting. Again, Joy and I talk about this guy all the time. The dementia patient doctor who says that guy is only going to be in the land of the living for like 3 to 5 months. When it happens, there is going to be such a power vortex because nobody believes JD is going to be able to hold it.
It's a cult of personality.
Nobody believes that. And so by the time it happens, because I don't know when it's going to happen, 3 to 5 months is actually a little suboptimal because I need Jeffries to be in the speaker chair, because when he passes, you got to immediately go after Vance. So you're not going to be able to impeach or remove both him and Vance. But if he passes, then you can go after Vance. You might be able to impeach Vance because nobody likes him. Which would tee up Jeffries just from order of succession. However, who knows?
But you're right. They would have to impeach him because remember, Vance is the Heritage Foundation's boy. And it doesn't matter whether he's smart or not. He knows how to keep his nose clean and follow orders. And that's what they need. And well, okay, I didn't say keep his couch clean. I said keep his nose clean and follow orders, and I think the issue is now that they've given all this power to Trump, Vance inherits it if Trump passes away, and all of the power to veto, the power to do whatever, the unilateral express power to just make up rules whenever they want to, that passes to him directly. And all they need, look at what they did in the first 100 days. All they need is for him to not be out of there before the midterms, and they could ruin everything.
Well, I'd like for you to weigh in on this, Gabe. My feeling is that once the midterms hit, whoever is in office at the president's level is going to hit a brick wall. Because once the Democrats have control of the House, and there's a better chance than anybody possibly thought, by the way, of them also flipping the Senate, not to a supermajority, but a majority in the Senate, and they take control of the House. It is investigations time. It is absolutely all of these executive orders, all of this stuff that has not been challenged at all, that has been allowed to proceed, all of that goes away.
Yeah.
And whoever it is in the office is going to have a tough time. You're going to have officials, you're going to have cabinet officials impeached, and you're not going to have the goodwill. J.D. Vance, if it turns out to be him at the time, J.D. Vance does not have the muscle to get a Hegseth across the finish line, to get an RFK across the finish line, to get a Noam across the finish line. J.D. Vance has no juice. He's been in elected office less than 10 years. And he only got there on the back of, or the bottom of, Peter Thiel. So it's not going to happen. By the way, if you haven't been watching South Park this season, oh my gosh.
Oh, they've been killing it.
I mean, it is surprising to me that they have gotten away with what they've gotten away with.
Who gonna check them, boo?
Nobody.
They signed their deals already. They paid.
And if for some reason Paramount decides that they're going to take them off the air or whatever, anybody will take them.
What's the Netflix deal? Aren't they included in that?
No, because they're under CBS Paramount, which is owned by the Ellisons. Ellison is trying to get Warner Brothers.
Okay.
But
Paramount is going against Netflix for Warner Brothers.
Correct.
Okay.
And I mean, it's scandalous that the president is weighing in on that deal at all, because he's so nakedly partisan and trying to create a super Fox, basically. I don't know what it's going to take. I'm not looking forward to my Netflix bill going up by the amount of my HBO Max subscription. Yeah, because I pay in advance. I pay a year in advance. So like my HBO Max was like $119, which spread out over 12 months is not that bad. But Netflix has been steadily rising anyway. And, I'll buy it. I have $86 billion that I don't have. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. And I bet anything that happens before the end of Trump's term, but after dementia doctor's prognosis, I bet you there are going to be some media companies trying to claw back that money. That library is not going to get that money. That 16 million is going to go into arbitration. All of that stuff, the crypto stuff, it's going to be. He is ending the entire Trump legacy. Don Jr., all of it, Jared, everything is going to come crashing down.
Absolutely. I mean, Trump's a lame duck today. He became a lame duck the moment they passed those tax cuts for the billionaires. And, what dominated the news after that? Epstein. Because they didn't actually have any political fights that they were, trying to chase. There were, and then they shut the government down. So it's just like, they really don't have anything to actually do. Donald Trump was on that foreign relations trip, but really his own self-edification trip. And while the government was shut down. So it's just like, they're already at a my phone fell. They're already at a brick wall.
That was the NSA, Gabe. NSA did that.
So then, of course, after, once we get to the midterms, and like you said, it's like conventional wisdom definitely says Democrats have a shot, especially taking the House. The question then becomes like, okay, once they're able to actually start, subpoenaing. Woo, wow, that word that's a doozy. But once they're actually able to do that, our Republicans that actually take it seriously, because what we saw them not take it seriously before, when I think the January 6th committee was issuing subpoenas to folks to come in and talk about it. So it's like, are we going to run into that again? But definitely the investigations are going to pick up. And then of course Epstein, like that's not going away. That's not going away. And then they're going to have even more, Democrats are going to have even more power, even more leverage to go after that and to continue to really beat Donald Trump over the head with this. Or Donald Trump or whoever comes after Donald Trump, and all the Republicans that have been following, been basically giving up their own power as this co-equal branch of government.
Yeah,
so,
they've assimilated into the Borg, and the Borg is dying.
Absolutely.
Oh, listen, Janeway has infected the Borg Queen with that neurolytic virus, and everything. Things just be falling off the gal. So it's going to be messed up. And MTG is getting out at exactly the right time, because it is a guarantee she is going to be sitting in her perch and sniping about the Epstein stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be her thing. She is going to carry that banner. She's going to Joan of Arc that thing all the way until everybody gets caught up in it. And guess what? Once that person is no longer above ground, his legacy is going to be a target as well.
Oh yeah.
all the girls, the 13-year-old who alleged rape, all of that stuff. It's going to be done.
That was my not worry, concern. I figured this might be the play that they would take is once he is gone, he is the fall guy for everything. And my scales removed from my eyes, and I didn't know, and blah, blah, blah. And he did it all by himself. He was the mastermind, blah, blah, blah. So they can all wipe their hands of it and move on, and try to maintain some semblance of party and try to keep going with this Project 2025, because they have to be in control to pass all that nonsense.
Vote any person who can be removed from that cabinet once the Democrats take control, especially if there is no Trump.
And it's not even about the Heritage Foundation or any of that stuff, because they're just incompetent. You just fired the cause like anybody else in the United States who doesn't know how to do their job.
Stephen Miller, gone. I mean, it's going to fall to pieces. And then it's just going to be a matter of undoing.
Yeah. The problem is knowing what to undo.
Who are fired aren't going to be happy to come back to work when they know somebody with sense is in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
DOJ back in charge, Pam Bondi fired. I mean,
they have to undoge everything.
Yep.
An interesting direction, though, is that, you see Tucker Carlson kind of doing his thing and trying to really, subvert Trump in different ways. And he's talking to Nick Fuentes, who represents, even an even darker place within MAGA. Mm-hmm. So it's like, on one hand, you have this, what we're talking about now with kind of this undoing of the Trump legacy, the undoing of, Trumpism in America. But at the same time, there's this other direction that can go where it's like people are trying to be more Trump than Trump. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like, which path will MAGA choose, or which path will MAGA's voters, Republican Party's voters, determine for them? Are we going to, have we seen the light? Can we get out of this Trump stuff? Or do we need to find somebody more Trump than Trump?
But see, here's the thing. The cognitive dissonance is Trump isn't anything but unrestrained id and charisma. There is no one who has his level of charisma. And when your unconstrained id is not dressed up in charisma, you look like an idiot. Mm. All of these people who are not Trump, who spout Trump talking points, they just sound extra dumb because it's only Trump who can say that. And Trump sounds like an idiot too, but he has the magic wand over all of his constituents. Mm-hmm. So they will accept foolishness from Trump. Right. But from anybody else, without Trump or the shadow of Trump or the glow of Trump behind them, mm-hmm. it means nothing. There was an HBO series a while back ago where John Boy from the Waltons would come up to preach after his dad, but the only way he could do it was when the singer, who was the person who basically mystified everybody, she would sing a song, and then they would be so receptive to listen to whatever came next that he could get up and do his dry ass sermons, and it would work. But she turned out to be a raging cokehead, and so they were always having to protect her because she was the magic bullet of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And that's where we are with the GOP right now. Mm-hmm. They don't know who they are without Trump.
Without the raging cokehead?
Bind themselves so slavishly to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
it follows the pattern of most modern day cults. They struggle to pass leadership from one to another because the leader was the thing.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason Jim Jones gave them Flavor Aid, because there wasn't nobody who could follow him.
And then it's like people are going to try to do that, I'm more Trump than Trump without being Trump, and trying to pitch that to folks as they're suffering economically, as they're, having to pay $1,700 for their health premium in a month, having to, pay these the charges that are coming over from terrorists. They're having to pay for the tariffs. So it's just, people aren't going to be willing to take that at some point. So it's going to be fascinating.
I have one final thing, because we're at an hour and 36 minutes, this has been a great show. I'm not saying it hasn't been a great show. It's just been a long show. And I do have something which is to me, it was a complete bright light to my day. And I don't know how many of you all doom scroll like I do, but I just be swiping up and swiping up and swiping up on the Instagram and on Facebook Reels. And I stumbled across this young boy who was in a dentist chair, and he had been given his nitrous. And when I tell you, if he is at the background understudy for Cynthia Erivo, I don't know who should be. So
folks are saying like he should be in Son of a Witch as her son.
Listen to me. This young brother was absolutely killing the game. So let's check this out as a way of segueing out of the show. First of all, before we do that, I want to give a super duper shout out to my HCast friend for life, Gabe Smith, who came through in the clutch and brought his wonderful political insight to this crazy quilt that we call a country right now. And yes, I saw that comment about DeSantis. Look where it got him. He about to go out of office. His wife is not going to be the next governor because that scandal is sticking to him. And this new thing with him trying to give all that damn land to the Trump library is another thing that's going to be a stone in his craw. He's done. He's done. Being more Trump than Trump doesn't mean anything, because Trump is still alive and once he's here. And guess what? Don Jr., we're not electing an open cokehead.
No.
You might have some vices that you can keep in the closet, but everybody is looking at you licking your teeth, my boy. It's
evangelicals aren't going for that.
Yeah, no, not at all. So let's take a look at this young man, and it's short and it is surely sweet. Enjoy.
Never gonna bring
You better Sister Nudo that last note, bro.
That boy can sing.
I don't know how old that child is, but to be on nitrous and still hold them notes
and laying down.
Laying down.
Hitting them.
Listen, I don't know if we talked about Wicked for Good. That last song was killer. Overall, it's definitely a lot slower, but from what I understand, because I never saw the stage presentation, it's still better than the second half of the stage presentation, which I can believe because you get all the production value.
Let me tell you, we had a time was had over on Threads as people pointed out that Glenda was not a hero, and all the Karens came to Glenda's defense, and we had to point out to them, you only like her because she's pretty. She is a whole bitch. Like, and it took her, but she changed at the end after her friend died. It took her friend dying for her to go, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go along with this. And it was too late, right? She had nothing left. And like the way she gave them shoes away, I was like, oh, Glenda, you ain't shit. Like over and over again, she was wrong. But because she was pretty and blonde and pink, right? In a bubble, all of the symbolism there, you know,
and
they wanted her to be good, right?
A manufactured bubble because she didn't have any powers through 98% of both films.
Exactly.
So, and listen,
somebody else said that the book was a villain. Because the book, like nobody really knew how to work with the book, not even Elphaba. And the book was just putting out spells they wanted to put out. The book was like total chaos, right? Just doing whatever it wants.
Yeah, the Grimoire was on one.
Yeah.
Had them flying monkeys angry at Elphaba for nothing.
Right.
It got snubbed. It did not get a nomination for Best Picture. Both of the actors got, of course, their nominations, and so we'll see if they're rewarded. But you know, Jennifer Lawrence is up for an Oscar, and she's already gotten one for this. It's All Her Fault or something like that, or Love Me, something. Anyway, she's already gotten an Oscar, so you know. But it didn't make a whole lot of money, so we'll see. Wicked for Good, obviously, is a very strong contender, but it's already won for costumes. It's already won for production design,
which is what it should win for.
It should, but
you mean Sydney
they've already
Sweeney
been awarded
for an Oscar?
Huh?
Sydney Sweeney wasn't up for an Oscar?
Yeah. You know what?
Eugenics.
I want to close this show so badly, but I have to say, Sydney Sweeney's last movie,
it didn't go wood.
It was a biopic about a female boxer, the most successful female boxer, I think, in the 90s or whatever. There was already some hullabaloo because the subject of the biopic is a lesbian woman, and Sydney is not. That movie closed, grossing $1.9 million in the world. The world. That's barely enough to buy a bucket of popcorn.
I guess doubling down on eugenics in 2025 is not a smart idea.
Not what it do.
And get this. Her last 4 movies, 3 of which were theatrically released, all of them flops. And American Eagle fired her.
Yep.
Fired her.
So hate that.
For the FIFA award for acting good.
We didn't even do the FIFA Peace Prize. Somebody said that trophy looks like Trump dragging the world into hell. Look up the FIFA Peace Prize trophy. It does. Those fingers are not pretty like. No,
they're claws clutching. Yeah.
It's so horrible. Anyway, Joy, do you have anything left?
Just a real quick shout out to I'm a K-pop fan for one particular group. And so Stayville is a place where we hang out on Threads. And the last few days, any brand that mentioned anything that we thought we could get on, we would go to their brand page and flood it with like Stray Kids comments. Like somebody was like, "Hey, do you like bread? You know, one of the members is named Baby Bread." Blah blah blah. We were all over the place. Everybody, even Carl's Jr. was like, "Y'all like chicken nuggets?" Yeah, because one of the kids is a chicken. All of this, and then Target was like, "Hey, Stevie, where you at?" And when I tell you, the comments under Target were all like,
"What you doing here?"
What about my DEI, Target? Where you at? Where you at with that? Ugh, how dare you? We're an inclusive group. You summoned us to get, and all the people, if it wasn't somebody posting a picture of stray kids making a face like, ugh, and then everything else was, they finna drag you and you deserve it. And we've been doing that all day. It's been glorious.
Amazing.
The internet is what you make of it.
Black out. Buy black forever. Don't just make it a brief campaign. Make it a lifestyle choice. Look, you got an Anthony Turner shout out, Gabe. You are truly a Sharpie.
Appreciate it, brother.
With that, I will say I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm Joy Reid.
And I'm Lester Holt.
And this is Steel Sharpeneth Steel. See you next time, everybody. We're trying to decide when the last episode of the year is going to be. Probably going to be next week.
Yep.
Bye.